Hey guys, we're in Nassau Bahamas on a cruise, and we have an excursion planned to the Blue Lagoon. We've been going there a few times now, and it's an excursion that we like. If the weather is going to be good, meaning we'll want to get in the water, and there's no rain in the forecast, we'll go. For a winter cruise, it can be a bit tricky. We look at the forecast about 3 weeks out, and then we decide if we're going to buy it. This is important because most excursions will go, rain or shine, warm or not. And this time, it's February. There's nothing worse than a rainy day at the beach and you can't get your money back. However, know that if there is dangerous weather or if the cruise changes ports, you will get your money back if you bought your cruise excursion through the cruise line. You can book an excursion to the Blue Lagoon if you're staying locally. Just go to their website. But know this, if you're coming from a cruise ship, the website will direct you to book this excursion with the cruise line. So if your ship is not offering this particular excursion, you should call the Blue Lagoon directly and ask about your options. The Blue Lagoon is called the home of the Dolphin Encounters. In fact, that's their web address. They offer many experiences, but first you have to get there. The attraction is on Salt Cay, or Salt Cay, depending on how you want to pronounce it, an island. You'll have to catch a ferry either at the cruise terminal if you're coming off the cruise ship, or at Paradise Ferry Terminal if you're coming locally. The ferry ride takes about 20 to 30 minutes. On the way there, the crew will tell you a little bit about the island and point out houses of celebrities along the way. They might be selling snacks and drinks, but usually I wait until I get to the island to get my snacks and drinks. Since I've done a lot of things in Nassau already, the Blue Lagoon is always an option, especially if we know that we're going to be there more than once a year off various cruises. Nassau is a popular cruise spot, especially for the East Coast. What the crew on the ferry might not talk about is the history of the island, which I think is kind of interesting. You can read it on their website. Salt Cay, of course, was a stopover for pirates and privateers until it was sold by the British to one of their countrymen. It went from owner to owner for a number of years and was known as Treasure Island at some point. By 1993, the privately owned company, which is owned by a family, Dolphin Encounters, they bought the island and started developing it and their experiences into the tourist attraction that you see today. They started out as a rescue facility for marine life. The focus is on dolphin and sea lion experiences, but you don't have to purchase that option. Oh yes, and by the way, the island has been in movies, but not the Blue Lagoon, although it's called the Blue Lagoon. It's been in movies like Flipper with Paul Hogan or Holiday in the Sun with the Olsen twins, as well as TV ads, music videos, and a lot more. As you sail up to the Blue Lagoon, you'll see McCutcheon Tower, sometimes accessible only with a tour. Double check when you get there. The other thing that you want to do as soon as you get there is to look at the return time for the ferry. To make things easier, they will often have the return time listed by ship. Sometimes you do not have an option to stay later and come back with a later ferry for a different ship because of the crowds. So follow the directions. Then, if you have an animal experience, you'll need to note what time your animal experience is. The big selling point for Blue Lagoon is their animal encounters. We haven't done them yet, but they're very popular and a little pricey. You can upgrade your ticket when you reach the island, provided that they haven't sold out or that the timing works for you. Remember, don't forget the time that you have to catch the ferry back. There might not be other options if the experience is later in the day and your ferry time is a little earlier. But if you're not doing the animal experience, you can still see the animals. You can walk over to where the area is and see them from the observation decks. While you're participating in the animal experiences, you might not be allowed to have your own personal cameras. In fact, on the website, it says that you won't be allowed. It's helpful if you have someone up on the observation deck to help take pictures, or you can buy them from the Dolphin Encounter people. It's possible that they might not want someone to take pictures because they want to sell them to you. You got your wristband when you first got off the ship and probably a meal ticket if you bought that package. So the other thing you want to find out is when and where to eat. They have a few options for those who might be on special diets, so look at the buffet before you go in. You can also buy snacks in the gift shop. The basic package, the Island Beach Day, includes access to the beach and the beach chair, sometimes with an umbrella. But of course, there are upgrades available. You can rent a kayak, but be careful. You can only be in certain areas and the water might be very shallow. So check the water before you rent the kayak. There are lockers available. You can rent a clamshell, which gives you also possibly a free drink. There is an upgrade to the private side of the island, which is a cabana area, which is only for the people who have rented those cabanas and rented the other options that come with it, which might include some concierge services. The Blue Lagoon is touted as a family-friendly island, but there is an adult area that's on the far side of the island that you walk to. That is an additional cost. We did our own walking tour of the island, but they also have a nature walk that you can buy. Since we've been to the Blue Lagoon only in the winter months, it tends not to be so crowded, so some of the amenities such as the adult area were not necessary for us. Also, in the winter months, all of the areas may not be open, including some access to the beach, because the water is rough at that time of year. Pay attention to the red flags, pay attention to all barricades, and just stay where it is safe. We talked about a lot of the things that cost extra, but there's a lot of free things as well. First of all, there's the day at the beach that goes with your package, and that is enough for some people. If you have your own snorkeling mask like we do, then you can snorkel right there at the surf. If you find a hammock, it's yours. In the Bahama Village area, there are games for you to try your luck at. We saw a couple of areas where beach volleyball could be played. Also in the Bahama Village area are specialty shops for trinkets or additional food and snacks. You can also shop at two of the stores on the island. One is near where the ferry docks and the other is over near the animal experiences. There are other safety amenities for you and of course restrooms and outdoor showers for you to rinse off the sand. Going to the Blue Lagoon is a good excursion and it's a great one to repeat, especially if you've been to Nassau several times and you've already seen all the other cultural offerings. It's like having the cruise private island day. It's stress-free, you just buy your ticket, get on the ferry, get to the beach, and do whatever you feel like doing. It's a relaxing excursion. Sometimes the return ferry time might be a little too soon for your taste, but just know that the Nassau Cruise Terminal is now a good place to hang out if it's too soon for you to go back to your ship. Other than that, you can head back to your ship and enjoy those amenities there. I'm the NYC Traveler, and we've been at the Blue Lagoon Island in the Bahamas, also known as Dolphin Encounters. Thanks for exploring with us.